Welcome into the live stream here from McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal. That's Tyler. How are you?
What it is, sir? How are you?
I'm fine. A little busy today with some other stuff, but I'm good. How about you?
About the same, boss.
Yeah,
about the same. Busy as hell.
Yeah.
So, we'll talk about it. Been a rough day for your boy. Already. So, trying to get my mind right, get my mind transitioning, and moving on to the next stage. And been a tough day. Been a very difficult day. So we'll talk about it here.
I would imagine that cutting people that you've gotten to know and that have been with you is a difficult thing. I would think that's.
We'll talk about it. It sucks. I can tell you that. I can tell you that with 100% certainty. It sucks.
All right, you ready to roll?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Welcome into episode 351 of McCready and Siskey, powered by Rain Total Body Fuel. I'm Neal McCready in the Clark Ford Studios here in Oxford, Mississippi. That is Tyler Siskey. He is at the Birmingham Stallions offices in downtown Arlington, Texas, here on this Thursday, March the 19th, the NCAA tournament underway. I just remembered and turned it on here in the studios. I have no idea what's going on so far.
TCU beat Ohio State. Nebraska disposed of my Troy Trojans that I love so much. Louisville smoked USF, or is smoking USF, and we have an upset alert. High Point and Wisconsin is a 4-point game in the second half.
Yeah, 4-point game, 15:37 to go. They go to I think they'll go into a media timeout here. Duke leads Siena 10-8. My money's on the Devils on that one. And
I think that's a safe bet.
Wisconsin's up 4 with the basketball with 15:23 to go. They're now up 6. You're up to date on NCAA tournament. We
How
are
about
brought
that?
to you by our good friends at Rain Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, zero sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits, achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Rain Body Fuel to learn more.
Neal, I'm rocking with the white haze. The white haze today, very refreshing, very beautiful spring afternoon. It's going to be 95 degrees here tomorrow in Arlington, Texas.
Ooh.
So, yeah, get you some of that. But yeah, it's very refreshing, very light
Hot.
rain. Love it. Big white haze guy. So we're rocking with that. But Neal, as you already know, tax time is here. And what are you going to do with that refund? Let me tell you what that refund's doing. It's begging. It's begging to be a down payment right now. At Kia of Meridian. That's right. The Kia of Meridian chat is already bumping. And it will be bumping throughout the show. And right now at Kia Meridian, you can turn that tax money into a brand new whip. You can get $3,000 off the 2025 Kia Sorento. Perfect for the family, the grind, and everything in between. You can also drive away with zero. That's right, zero APR on your boy's favorite, the 2025 Telluride. That's right, 0%. And if you're rewatching all that monthly payment right now, you can get the brand new, all new 2025 Kia K4 starting as low as $349 a month. It's your refund, it's your ride, it's your move. Don't sit on that tax money. Drive it home in a Kia of Meridian today. So check this out, Neal. There's a rumor going around right now. If you go down to Kia of Meridian and you say, Trav, here's my tax refund, Trav. I want you to take that tax refund and I want you to stuff it right on in to a brand new Telluride. And Trav's going to say, you know what I'm going to do for you, boss? I'm going to pull it on out and let you spin the wheel and win awesome prizes like a PS5 and Xbox, a TV, and more. So check them out at Kia of Meridian. I can't even look at you when I do that anymore. Just your face breaks me break character there. And Neal, we're also brought to you. I saw Rob in the old TikTok chat a minute ago. Neal, we're also brought to you by the official RV dealer McCready Siskey. Who is that, you may ask? It's County Line Campers. And you may also ask, where are they located, Tyler? They're right there off exit 38, I-10 in the wonderful city of Gulfport, Mississippi. And if you've been thinking, you know what, it's going to be 95 out here in Arlington, Texas tomorrow, and you've been thinking, you know what I can do? The weather's going to be beautiful. Springtime is here. It's time to go camping. What do? You go down to County Line Campers. You go see Rob. You go see Miss Destiny. And right now, there's no gimmicks. There's no inflated discounts. Right now, you're going to get employee pricing at County Line Campers. So you pay what Rob pays. Right now, it's travel trailers, it's fifth wheels, it's motorhomes, it's whatever they got on the lot. Right now, they're the coast only locally owned and operated RV dealership with doing the same day service and a reputation on doing things the right way. Inventory is limited, and these 2025s are going quickly, and the price is going to disappear. So visit countylinecampers.com or stop in again off of exit 38, I-10 in Gulfport, Mississippi. And when you think about camping, you think about County Line Campers. How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
Oh boy, I've been needing that today. I'm trying to refocus. Been a rough day today. I teased it there at the beginning of the show. We had to go from 64 to 50 today, and that shit was hard, man. First of all, we had to reshuffle things like 3 times. We had some guys that were dinged up, so I had to reshuffle some numbers on what we're trying to get done. And it was just, it was tough, man. And you're getting there, and you got, players that you want to keep on the team that I think can help us play and win. And then you gotta release them, and then hopefully, or not. I want what's best for them. So you want them to get opportunities to go other places, but you would love to have them back if something happened. You had to get them back, and usually. And this for covering college for so long, when it's time to cut a college player, it's usually something they've done something, it's class related, it's behavioral issues related. Usually they cut themselves, right?
Yep.
And I can honestly say in any staff that I've been a part of, we never really cut anybody from that wasn't because of just they were a great person and they did everything right and they didn't play great. Well, the hard part here is, I mean, the guys are good players and they do everything right. They don't. It's not an effort thing. It's not anything like that. And it's just it's difficult, man, because it's their last shot, to get to where they want to go, and you feel like and they're adults. You feel like you're. It's not even when one thing with a kid. A kid goes in the portal or transfers. You're like, he's got another opportunity, and it's kind of, this is it. This is the end of the road, and it's tough, man. It sucks. And when you have to be the one,
you're snuffing out the dream.
It sucks. And we got, had to have a tough conversation with our receiver room, our running back room, our offensive line room, and our tight end room. Every room that we had to make cuts in today, it was, these guys are good players, and you want to be able to say, when you're doing it, you want to be like, well, we're cutting them because of X, Y, and Z. Well, that's not always the case. You got to make difficult decisions, and it sucks. It's hard, man. It was like getting kicked in the balls first thing this morning. We had to make the calls at 7 a.m. this morning. Had to, go to bed last night, think about a couple more, and had to get to our roster. And it sucks. It's probably the worst. It's the worst feeling in my opinion. It's worse than any loss. It's the worst feeling that you can go through, because a game is a game. You know what I mean? A game's a game. You're going to win games. You're going to lose games. Game's a game. We try to be competitive, want to win them all, obviously. But games will be, this is life. You know what I mean? Like, it's a game, but it's life.
Sure.
And it sucks. So I don't like being a part of a negative. You build relationships with people, and you're forced to make a decision that person's going to hold you in a negative light, in a negative moment in their life. And it's unintentional, if that makes sense. It sucks. Everything about it sucks. If you have a heart, if you're a cold-hearted son of a bitch, it may not matter. But, I told a player today, we were having a conversation. I said, I've been called a lot of things in my life, asshole being one of them, but and you know me well, I'm a good-hearted asshole. I'm an asshole, but I do actually have a heart in there that does tick every once in a while.
I would not call you that word. I mean, I understand that you're being silly a little bit about it, but no, I wouldn't say that about you.
But you know what I mean? I mean, people that don't know me, I could probably be viewed, because I have resting bitch face sometimes when I don't know people, very standoffish. So people that don't know me probably think that sometimes, and that's validated.
No, you're a foxhole guy. Not to blow sunshine, just the truth. People always, when everything's going good in your life, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, you know what I mean? You're good. Everybody can jump on the train when it's rolling full speed. Just ride the wave. But when you have a little adversity in your life, something happened, you find out who your friends are. You find out who's got your back. You find out who will go to war for you, and you find out who won't. And that's not a negative. It's a good thing to know.
Yeah.
And you're one of those people that there's no question. You're a foxhole guy. You're going to be there. You're going to be.
I ride it fall off.
Yep.
Sometimes to my detriment.
But hey, I mean, I've heard, I've read, I remember watching the documentary about the 1980 Olympic team, and Herb Brooks was known as being pretty cold-hearted, and when he had to make that last cut on the Olympic team, he really, really struggled with it, because he was cutting somebody that he was the last cut of the 1960 team. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
He was the last cut, and cutting that last person brought back memories to him. And also, he was cutting a young man who he had no qualms with. He didn't have a good reason to cut him other than the math didn't math. He could keep 20, not 21. And so someone had to be number 21, and that person was. And he talked about how that haunted him. I mean, he lost sleep over it, lost, food didn't taste as good. The kid that he cut had to be the one doing the comforting, at the end.
Really, of every one of our cuts but one, basically, was a numbers game, and it was and so we had a plan. We had a plan. We started building a roster. You have a plan. You know what your 50 number is going to be, what you're going to take at every position. You know what your active number, because there's two numbers here, right? You got a 50, but then you also have to do some planning based on the 43 active, right? So
Sure.
And so there's two math equations when you're doing this together and trying to figure out a depth chart and all that stuff. So sometimes it's like, offensive line wise, it's like you got to make sure you got at least two centers. You can't go to a game without two centers. And then you start taking guys, and you get guys that in one case we had some guys that have been limited the last few weeks. They'll be fine to go next week, but they're one play away. We'll have a couple guys that probably aren't 100% when they're going out there next Friday night, and we had to add a number to that room in case something happened. So you had to start adding numbers, and with the guys that were maybe questionable or limited in some aspects, and it just sucks, man. And you got guys that are giving you everything they got, and it blows. It's terrible. All right. Switching gears on that, I haven't even told you this. I'm telling you live on the air because I wasn't really aware of it. I was aware of it, but I wasn't aware of it, the extent of it, until like 3 days ago.
Okay.
So, course of like last week, we had camera crews come in and they were micing us up. I thought it was just some kind of promotional deal with the league or whatever they were doing, and like legit camera crews with the boom mic, the whole deal. And so I thought it was like something that we were doing there. And then we're in meetings, and they were in meetings with us last week. And then the other day they come in here and want to sit down with me. And I'm like, I finally had the guy come here. We got a showrunner and everything. We got a full-fledged show going on Netflix here after the season.
Are you sure this is not the Louisville Kings trying to get inside information?
Yeah, no, we got full-fledged. And that was another thing today is like they had cameras in the room for the cuts and stuff, and you're like, and like yesterday, and they're awesome, by the way. The crew is awesome. I think it's a great idea for the league. I think it's going to bring fan interest in because of the crew that's doing it. Also did the horse racing one on Chasing the Crown, I think, on Netflix about the Triple Crown. Same crew. Same showrunner, just super people, awesome people. And actually, they're not here. I think they left, but they want to come in. They're going to be with us the whole year. I said, I'll have to ask my co-host permission. They want to actually sit in while we're doing a podcast. I didn't think he'd mind this, so I kind of told him it'd be okay. Yeah. But they'll sit in, and while we're doing a podcast, and they're going to tape and show, and they'll give us some pub on the show on Netflix. I didn't figure you'd that bother you too much. But yeah, but yeah, we did that, and then they rode in the car with me and AJ to go to practice. That was very interesting. So it was like we felt like we were in like Ricky Bobby. Like you feel very uncomfortable. like what do you do with your hands? I mean, they're like, oh, just act normal. I said it's not normal that you got, because we're in AJ's SUV, right? So me and AJ are in the front, and you got two cameras and a sound guy in the back with a boom mic hanging all the way in I said, this is not normal. You can't like ignore the boom mic sitting between our two ears, right? And so that was very interesting. But yeah, no, it'll be good. It's should be a really good show, and I think the people, and they're doing a really good job. They're trying to humanize it, trying to peel back the curtain and humanize the league and all the stories. And we got some guys with great stories, and I told them Jaden Mickens is one of our receivers. I mean, he's played in the league like 8 years. He's got a Super Bowl with Tampa, and they're going to kind of pick stories and all that stuff. And I'm sure Matt will do his best to avoid the media. So Matt's not he doesn't like his media stuff. I was messing with him the other day. I said, come on in here and hop on the show. And he literally ran out the door. So, but no, it's going to be good. It'll be interesting. So you have to be very careful. Like yesterday, we were having our meeting about the cuts yesterday. We had to have some conversations. And so we were like, yep, we're done. Said, oh, okay, good. And they got up and left, and we just kind of shut the door and went and finished the rest of our meeting. like a fake moment there, and got them out of there so we could have some real discussions. So some things that don't need to be on camera. But But it's camp is over. The players will be off. Cut days today. They'll be off tomorrow. We'll bring them back Saturday. Our week will start a little bit different this week because our game is on Friday next week, 7 p.m. on Fox. And so attention has fully turned to as my man Neal has said, the attention has fully turned, changed gear this morning to
mine's
the
been on the Louisville Kings for a month now. That's all I think about. I wake up every morning, and immediately the first thing I think about is the Louisville Kings. I go to bed at night. The last thing I think about is the Louisville Kings. I hate them. I've gone from hating them to just detesting them in a way that's difficult for me to describe, and I can't wait to watch them lose. And
so, what happens after Friday? Are you going to turn your attention to Houston on Saturday?
Is it the Gamblers?
The Houston Gamblers. That is correct.
God, they're the worst.
We got Louisville, Houston, St. Louis, and then we come home. Our first home game is against Orlando, and I don't know who we play.
April the 17th is, I believe, the home date.
18th, April 18th.
Okay.
April 18th. Yeah, I gave my sheet to Erin, so Erin has my sheet with all the games on it, so she could figure that out for travel.
We've looked at it. We've discussed. I've discussed with my better half. We have discussed spending part of that weekend in Birmingham.
Let's go. I know a guy. Probably get you hooked up. I know a guy. I know two guys that could probably get you hooked up pretty good.
I'm still waiting on my box of gear.
Me too.
I'm supposed to get AJ sent me a text about would I be willing to.
I know. They haven't sent it yet. I know what you're talking about now. They haven't sent it yet.
Yeah, no. I was gonna unbox on camera and stuff.
Hey, how about this? So I got you can have this one. We got a little polo here for you.
Look at that.
How about that? Your size too.
Yeah.
So AJ's got. I was laughing. So AJ, you know how AJ is. So this is our normal hat, right? This is our normal practice hat right here.
Yeah.
All right. I like it. It's got a little bit of curve in it. That wasn't good enough for AJ. So AJ called New Era, and they sent AJ a special kind of hat because these are like the you know what I'm talking about, like when it says like small, medium, large.
Yeah,
right.
He wanted one that was specifically his size.
Yes, and so he got they sent like 2 boxes of these specific size ones, and I put this thing on, and it sits on top of my head like a cone head, and so it's flat build. I can't do it. So AJ gets to wear that one, and then so I get all his other hats. We kind of have a hat exchange.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing right now. We're doing a little hat exchange. So, yeah, but it's the same hat with different sizes.
I'm eager to this level of hatred for the Louisville Kings. I'm eager to watch it put into. I'm ready to put them away. I'm ready to wake up on Saturday morning and say, well, they're gone, and turn my attention to the Houston Gamblers.
So the other day at practice,
but God, yesterday, right now I hate Louisville so much right now. I mean, someone said they were having a No Kings protest somewhere, and I'm like, sign me up. And then they were like, no, it's not about UFL. And I was like, oh, well, they said something about politics. I was like, no, let's go to Louisville and march the streets. No Kings.
Unbelievable.
But everybody's like, you don't want to do that. Trust me. Like, you'll see some really weird people. I'm like, well, Louisville's a weird place. And they're like, no, even weirder.
I went. You'll like this part.
I was told that I would, if I went there to host a No Kings protest, that I probably would not get the type of crowd that I was looking for. That's what I was told. I don't really know what that means.
You'll like this. So yesterday at practice, I told AJ, I said, I'm going to go up top and call it from up top to get everybody communicating, sideline communication without me being there. And so I went up top. And so also while I was up there, I was like, okay, I got to get in the mindset like I'm in a game. And so if something doesn't go right, I can not cancel myself, right? I did really good, Neal, for about the first 6 plays. And then on like the 7th play, So we busted a protection or something. I don't know. We had a free runner, and I threw my walkie-talkie like 3 rows down. So I gotta improve my my
I
body language in the box.
don't like your chances on anger management in the box.
I, I'm going to
I
have
think
to.
it's got a chance to go badly, which is probably what the people at Fox want.
That's probably what they want. Okay,
Yeah.
that's probably what they want, and I got to figure out how to. It is hard,
Probably not
man.
what Aaron wants, but
No,
but
she's
it,
already. We talked about it 15 times last week, and then she's like, I'm really like legitly. I'm not worried. What's just crazy to like for people. I got
yeah.
asked the other day, are you nervous? I said, nervous for what? It's like riding a bike. You've been doing it a long time. There's nothing to be nervous about. I am legitly nervous that I'm going to do something like I'm going to make Rich Rod in the box moments look like
Yeah.
Gandhi. You know what I mean? Like I'm legitly I'm going to end up being a freaking meme. I gotta like legitly figure
I
out how
bet
I'm going to do that.
Rich Rod can't wait.
Oh yeah, he's going to give me
Can't
shit. He'll
wait,
be the first one to give me shit. He will be the first one to give me shit. He'll be the first one. So, but anyway, hey, I do need to say this too. Shout out! I do want to give a big shout out to all the Stallions fans and all the people who are supporting. Our first game is not till April. First home game is not till April 18th, and they've already sold out 2 sections of the stadium. Already sold out 2 sections of the stadium, and they've actually opened up like 5 more sections.
Oh,
So
let's go.
let's keep rolling. Go to UFL Stallions, get your tickets. Appreciate everybody that's doing that. That's awesome. But they to the point where they had to open up more sections of the stadium. So that's awesome. Appreciate you guys for that.
Yeah.
All right, moving along. As you have already mentioned, Neal, March Madness. It's here.
Yeah.
It's my favorite time of the year. It's my favorite time of the year. I love me some March Madness. As you know, I'm a big college basketball guy. I'm going to hit you with a little bracket theory. And it's building off of what you got me thinking last week or 2 weeks ago when we talked about it, about these players planning their contract year. Your boy filled out a bracket based on freaking money, based on teams that are getting paid, even if they've struggled coming down the stretch. Because I think these players with contract years and everything else, I think they're playing. The pace is picked up. So even if a team has struggled, the teams that have good high paid players, even if they haven't played great, I'm advancing them in my bracket. We're going full bracket here.
All right.
But that's kind of my bracket theory. I think that the cream rises to the top is from a financial standpoint in this tournament. I think you'll end up seeing that. I think there have been teams that have probably underperformed that are going to play a little bit better. And yeah, I'm kind of staying away from in a nutshell, I'm kind of staying away from the big upsets. I think the days of I'm sure we'll have one and all that stuff, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to pick a lot. There wasn't a lot of upsets last year, and I missed it. And I think I'm kind of sticking with that same kind of theory this year.
Yeah, I didn't do a bracket per se, but had I would have done mostly chalk. I think obviously the teams with the higher payrolls are going to have better players, and the teams with the better players are probably going to win the games. I mean, as
I say that, East has jumped out to a 10-point lead on Vandy, but as I've said that, so that's awesome. But yeah, I'm going to kind of stick with that. And I have picked Michigan to be my winner of the bracket. And I do have. How about this? I do have an SEC team in the Final Four. Do you know who I picked in the Final Four?
Florida.
No.
Not Alabama anymore with Aden Holloway. I mean, the only other two that I would say have a puncher's chance would be Vanderbilt and Arkansas.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Oh, how about that?
I think they got the best player, and they're playing well. Got hot down the stretch. I like them, man. I'm going to stick to my guns. I got the Razorbacks going to the Final Four.
McNeese leads Vanderbilt 14-5 early. Siena leads Duke 31-22, 7:23 to go in the first. High Point and Wisconsin. Wisconsin beginning to distance itself. Yeah. Wisconsin up 8 with the ball, 6 minutes to go.
I had to have this. I had to have this talk with AJ today. I had to have this talk. I had to have this talk with AJ today. As a college basketball guy that covers college basketball, you're going to get this. I said, AJ, he filled out a bracket and he's not, and he's getting mad, like pissed off mad with the early lead. And I said, dude, college basketball games don't even start until 10 minutes to go in the second half. And I mean, that's when you kind of really need to start paying attention. I said, unless I have the 1 point per minute kind of theory. Mm-hmm. If you're down 20 at half, you better start. You got to get after it coming out of the second half. But if you're down 12 or 13 or 14 and start the second half, that's really, if you're the better team in the long run, they figure it out, or they'll pull away in the last 10 minutes if it's a close game usually. And you have a couple upsets obviously, but college basketball doesn't. It's not like football or baseball where all that stuff. You just gotta. The game doesn't start till the 10 minutes in the second half.
Yeah, I don't really get on upset alert until the under 8 media timeout.
Yeah, that's about
it. Yeah. The other day in Nashville, I kept thinking Arkansas was going to pull away from Ole Miss just because I knew Ole Miss was tired, and but you could tell Arkansas. You could tell Acuff didn't feel 100%. And you're like, well, I'm going to wait. And when they got under the 8, I was like, well, it's a short game now. And we got under 4. I started for the first time. I pulled up the list of where the damn tournament was played this year because I'd not even considered it. Like, hey, I wonder where the tournament is. Normally I'd kind of know. And this year the season was over so early that there was no reason to even, and I was not covering a team that was going to get an at-large bid. I knew that, right? And so, I was like, well, and literally at the under 4, I'm like, well, I guess I need to kind of see where this thing is because Vanderbilt had already beaten Florida. And I didn't, going into the day, I was like, I'm only even going to think about this if Florida loses. Like, Ole Miss wasn't going to beat Florida just because the matchup, Florida's bigs are just such that was not going to happen. But once Vanderbilt won, I was like, well, who knows? So I figured by the way Ole Miss was getting sent to Portland, there was very little doubt in my mind that if they won, they were going to ship them out to the furthest recesses of the country.
Right. The crazy part was like you sit there and I was laughing when you didn't think it was very funny. I kept sending you a congratulations text after every win.
Yeah.
Because I knew your clothes would probably be running in low supply.
Yeah.
but I was sitting there when that game went to overtime. I was like, Neal's sitting here going, "I'll be damned." But if they had made it, hey, can conference? And I may be wrong on this. I think I am. Conference champions, they cannot play in the first 4. Is that correct?
No, they would. Ole Miss, had they won, would not have been eligible for Dayton. They would have been straight into the field as an automatic qualifier.
How do they do that though? I mean, what is it? How do they separate it between them and like the 16 seeds? They're all conference tournament champions. How do they? I guess is there a league?
Yeah, it has some. I don't know the way that it's set up. If you win one of the power leagues, you're going.
Gotcha.
So my guess, and I'd begun to look at it, was Ole Miss would have ended up being a 13 sent someplace. They would have stolen a bid. They would have taken one of the last teams in. I'm sure that the committee probably on Friday night, somebody on Saturday said, okay, let's build a scenario here for Ole Miss winning the SEC. Because, had they beaten Arkansas on Saturday, they would have needed to be down the road a little bit with the plan on that because that game would have been the next day at noon in a world where Ole Miss beats Vanderbilt at 2:15 in the afternoon. You don't have a hell of a lot of time to redo everything. So I'm sure I'm sure Ole Miss, by getting through Friday night when they beat Alabama, I'm sure that they probably added a full hour or so to the committee's workload Saturday.
That probably wasn't good.
No, it probably because that wasn't Ole Miss wasn't on, Yeah, going into the tournament, Ole Miss wasn't a topic of conversation, right? Obviously, and so when they beat Alabama, they probably had to go, okay, well, what do we do? Who would get out? How would we reshuffle this? We'd probably have to, because you'd probably have to move I would think you wouldn't give Ole Miss or a team like Ole Miss had they won, you wouldn't give them anything higher than a 12 seed. So you're going to have to shuffle your 11, 12s. You've got to follow tournament rules. You would have. I feel confident in saying they probably added an hour of work to their Saturday. They probably had to. Hey, let's look at this, because you couldn't. Yeah, they wouldn't have been able to wait till Sunday to do it.
Right, they would have already had a plan. Speaking of the Alabama Crimson Tide, Aden Holloway arrested for allegedly for, I don't know what's actually official or not. I've seen all the reports. Arrested and removed from school. I guess that's the official terms that they call it, removed from school, for marijuana possession. Conflicting reports on social media. Yeah, conflicting reports on exactly how much. Well, a few things here, Neal. One is I want to classify this. I got several. Don't be a dumbass. Like, you're getting paid over $1 million a year to play college basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't understand. When you're somebody that's of the caliber to be getting paid over $1 million to play college athletics, like, what in the hell are we doing? Like,
a lot of marijuana.
But do you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing?
But you're asking. You're asking a question, and I know what you're saying, but it's.
But you gotta have people, like, you should, if you're of the caliber, I guess, of that kind of player, and you don't have people around you to put to
back in this thing. 74-73, 3:15 to go.
But if you don't have the kind of people around you to to check you on that, like, that's a problem. Like, how do you not, like, I don't understand how it gets to that point that you don't have people around you, because if you're making that kind of money, okay, if you're, and you know this, if you're an athlete that's making that kind of money, they usually have reputable agents. That's not somebody that has Johnny Friend as their agent. So if you're making that kind of money, you got legitimate agents, you got legitimate people around you, and if you're the kind of person that's still a part of your life, like, you're just setting back. You can't see the forest because the trees are in the way, and you're setting back. You're making career-ending, financially career just crushers, because you don't think that's going to be a problem when he goes to the NBA. Like, I'm not talking about a problem, but you don't think that's going to ding him in the NBA? Is he still going to have the same draft stock?
Oh, no. This severely damaged his draft stock.
So, you sit there and
he's got legal issues first and foremost right now. That much marijuana, he's going to have to have some really good legal help to avoid intention to distribute.
And it's like, you got to understand, like, if you need a freezer bag, that's a problem. If you're using a freezer bag for storage, it's a problem. It's a problem. If you need a freezer bag, it's a problem. Ziploc little sandwich bag, nope. Mm-mm. If you need a Ziploc freezer bag, it's a problem. Need gallon-sized bags. You got a problem.
This is where I know nothing about this, thank goodness, and I'm being honest, truthful. I know nothing about how much of that, or I know not. It's just never been my world, man.
So take this advice. If you need a freezer bag, it's a problem. Hey, Neal, Ziploc sandwich bag? Nah, not a problem. Sandwich bags, not a problem.
82, 81, 82-81, Wisconsin leads. 55 seconds to go. Wisconsin's got the ball. Neither team has really been able to stop the other. It's been entertaining. High point, the Panthers trying to upset the Badgers.
Yeah, I mean, that was take number one, Neal, of that situation. Take number two was things sure has changed in Tuscaloosa. Hey, I mean, if your boy was still in Tuscaloosa, he'd probably be tipping it off tonight or tomorrow, whatever they play. Hey, the 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 getting the broom out and picking up the rug and finding a place to put said dirt underneath rug. Need to find a new sweeper. Shit's changed.
You saying that some of the former Alabama football players?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just not saying that. I'm just saying shit's changed.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hey, that's called Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yeah, that's just called Tuesday.
Oh God.
We gotta work on we gotta figure out who's. Hey, Alabama, we gotta figure out who's got the broom. That's called Tuesday. We gotta figure that shit out. Anyway, I figured you'd like that one. That's called Tuesday. All right. I'm awful. I know. Hey, so one thing that
I don't know. That looked like that was off Wisconsin. Go ahead. I'm sorry. This is terrible pod.
I got it. That's all right. People, Wisconsin coach not very happy right now. You can review. I'm sure they will. I don't know if you saw this or not, or you give a shit. Is the SCORE Act? Didn't think this was coincidence. The SCORE Act's vote was supposed to be this next week. It's being pushed back to mid-April, and they're going to try to make some changes.
Fill me in on this one. I'm going to be honest. I have tuned some of this out because I have hit fatigue on this story. As you and I have talked about this. Which one's the SCORE Act?
This is the one that's going to help put transfer regulations. It's going to put antitrust laws. It's going to put all kinds of stuff into this deal, right? And that's the one that's getting pushed by a lot. It's basically trying to put guardrails on it, right? And it's supposed to be getting voted on. It got pushed back to mid-April. And one thing is, that they got in there is like the Lane Kiffin Rule, right? And why I think they're calling it the Lane Kiffin Rule, I'm just explaining it, but why they're basically trying to put in kind of like guardrails from a coaching standpoint to where you can't take a job until after the season is completed. You can't leave to take another job in the middle of the season. And that's part of it. Which I think, by the way, I think is a great idea. That's kind of how the NFL does it, right? It's like, shocker, NFL's been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
But here's the deal with that is like, I'm all for that from a coaching standpoint. I think it's a good idea. The problem is you got to match the calendar up. This is a calendar.
I mean, I know everybody loves to look, and this won't be popular. I've learned that people do not like when I do this, but I'm going to be genuine here. You can dislike what Lane Kiffin did, but you also have to, at least in my opinion, you have to at least acknowledge that the calendar left him with really no choice if that was a job that he was determined to take.
Yeah, the count. That's what I'm saying is like, even if they push back, they say, hey, coaches, you can't take another job till the season's over, right? Well, that's fine. Okay. I'm good with it. I think it's fine. But the problem is where the season ends and when that window would be after the portal window that they currently have in place, which has to match up, right, wrong, or indifferent. I don't care what anybody says. You have to match the portal window up with the January enrollment, right? So if the season's ending in January the 20th or where the hell it ended this year, 19th, 20, 21st, and you're saying coaches can't take a job the season's over with, okay, well,
then you've got to move the games up, and you've got to move the portal window to the spring. It's not complicated.
It's like I'm all for it, right? But there's other.
This is a layup.
This is an example.
He missed a layup. That need to stop though. 30 seconds to go. Wisconsin leads by a point. There's a 11-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock.
You're about 2 seconds ahead of me. But go ahead. Give us play-by-play, Neal.
Wisconsin drives, misses. Oh, they got a run out. 11.2 seconds to go. High Point takes a 1-point lead, 83-82. High Point calls timeout to set up its defense. 10.7. They'll probably review that and fix the clock a little bit. Call it 11. Yeah, back to 11.2. 11.2 seconds to go. High Point leads Wisconsin 83-82. It will be Wisconsin's possession coming out of the timeout.
Yeah, it's freaking nuts.
Look, there's a fix to the college football calendar. There's a fix. I don't know why people can't acknowledge this. It's you move the high school signing period to February. You move the portal to the end of the spring. You eliminate spring football. You just kill it. You don't have to even fool with it anymore. It's over. It doesn't exist. It goes the way of the dinosaur. You allow schools to have mini camps in June and July. You figure out a way to do it where you do that, and then you have the season. That's it. It's an NFL calendar. You fix it, and that way, Lane Kiffin, who, no matter what you think of Lane guided Ole Miss to the playoffs. In this scenario, he could have coached the playoffs, and then he could have left for wherever he wanted to go. I mean,
the only thing, and I'm with you there.
Here was the problem for Kiffin at the end of the day, and I'm not excusing or any of that. People can think what they want to think. That LSU job was a job that he didn't think he could live with himself if he turned it down. All right, Wisconsin with the basketball into the front court, driving, cut off, driving again, layup, shot blocked, High Point with the rebound, and fouled with 1.6 seconds to go. High Point will go to the free throw line with 1.6 seconds to go, made a defensive stop.
All right, do you know who's about to text me in just a minute when they see this?
Who?
I talked AJ out of picking High Point to upset Wisconsin on his bracket. And you know why he did it? You know what AJ did? Because he has no idea. He doesn't watch much.
12-5.
Well, he went he asked ChatGPT. ChatGPT told him High Point was going to win.
Oh. Boy, it was a clean block. The review showed a clean block.
But here's the thing, the difference in what the model you referred to and then what the NFL model is in the NFL, you have free agency before the draft, right?
Yeah.
However, I like the idea, like you just mentioned, of having free agency after the draft because I think that will allow more high school kids to get signed.
I do too. I do too. And then you can supplement what you didn't get out of the portal. Or you can still do the old way. If you want to be a portal-heavy program, you can. You can just not sign as many high school guys, and you can go heavy on the portal. You can still do it any way you want to do it. But this way, you do clean up the calendar.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree.
You clean up the calendar. You eliminate spring ball. Nobody wants to have it anyway. You do the portal into April or whatever.
Right. And then, but again, all these, it goes back to, I guess, we're talking about they're talking about this and that.
It was a 1-and-1 free throw. He missed the front end. So Wisconsin will have the ball with 2.1 seconds to go. They'll have to go the length of the court, though. This is where in the NBA, this would be, you'd move it to the front court. The college game hasn't done that. I'm not really sure why, but they haven't. And so they're going to have to inbound it the length of the ball. The length of the court, I should say. 1.8 left to go. They've adjusted the clock. 1.8. So you've got time to catch and shoot. Christian Leitner says hello, but you don't have a lot of time.
One dribble.
Yeah, you probably have time for a dribble. That's
Yep.
probably about it.
Also, while we're waiting on the timeout, this goes back to just finishing that up. It goes back to we're doing all these rules and we're not thinking about, like, we want to change one rule, but it doesn't matter when you change one rule because now you're still going to have calendar problems. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're always trying to fix something, but they don't want to fix the whole thing at one time. I don't know. It bothers me. But anyway.
But you could fix a whole lot of it with my calendar.
Yeah.
And I've run this by coaches. Like, is there anything in here you don't like? And they all privately love it.
That's the thing, privately, right? I wish everybody would go public.
Afraid to say it publicly because you're turning the spring into a disaster and you're extending the tampering portal for months. I mean, but there's no outside of. Let's see what happens. Here we go.
I'm a little bit behind you, so you're going to know before I do. Go ahead.
He's got the ball, throws it deep, intercepted by High Point. Ball game. High Point pulls off the 12-5 upset. We get one every year. We got one today in Portland. Mr. Siskey, High Point wins 83-82. They will await the winner of Hawaii and Arkansas in the round of 32.
I like Arkansas's chances.
Where the hell is High Point? Is that North Carolina?
North Carolina.
Yeah. Party in High Point, baby.
No doubt. Shout out to David Cutcliffe, too. David Cutcliffe retiring after 40-something years in football. I think it's 40, actually.
Yeah. First class guy.
I got to meet him a few times. Obviously know his son that is at Oxford High School. Just the whole family's first class, and I wish him the best. The game is the game. He left the game in a better place than it was when he found it, and he's a hell of a coach. I don't know anybody that doesn't like and respect the guy. You know, of all the places he's ever been, he's a class act, good dude, and with a first class family. So excited for him to enjoy his retirement and his grandkids, and I'm sure enjoy the rest of his time.
He had a really interesting sort of second chapter to his career after Ole Miss. If you remember, Ole Miss moved on from him after the 2004 season, and he had a health scare. Had to have surgery, if I recall, in Tupelo, where probably had he still been coaching, he wouldn't have listened to his body, and he ended up really getting in great shape and then having a very successful tenure at Duke.
Yeah, no, there ain't been many of them win at Duke now. You know what I mean? Like he did a hell of a job. That's where my guy Matt Luke worked for him at Duke and was with him at Tennessee as well. So he obviously thinks the world of him. So, but yeah, no, he's a hell of a guy. As we finish up, this is kind of going a little bit about what we just talked about, but it was something else I wanted to bring up. I really like this idea. Okay, I have not heard this idea, but I always like to give credit to where credit's due. I really like this. The Big Ten is proposing a new roster retention carve-out. All right, you'll be familiar with this. It's similar to the Bird Rule in the NFL and the NBA. All right, to where they allow teams. Okay, they're going to allow teams to go over the cap to retain players, like the Bird Rule, right?
Yep.
And it will reward players for staying on their teams. Okay. Wow. And be able to pay them more money to retention. And so what it would prevent, so the fans that don't understand what the Bird Rule is and all that stuff, let's say a player is getting paid $200,000 and he's a backup. Instead of getting $250,000 or $300,000 to go to school X to be a backup there, he can stay where, because these players, a lot of times they want to stay. They don't really want to go, but they also got to go where the money's at. And so it would allow schools to go over the cap and not be punished for giving them, I think in the Bird Rule, I think it's up 175% of what they were making, I think is what it is, or something like that. And it's a 3-year NBA deal. It's a 3-year deal now, 3 years with the same team. I'm sure they would adjust it for college or whatever they do, but it would allow players that are being retained on the roster to be rewarded for staying, basically, and it not punish the schools on the cap. And I think that would help colleges develop players. I think it would really cut out some of the nonsense when it comes to the portal.
So the bird rights exception allows teams to exceed in the NBA, allows teams to exceed the salary cap to re-sign their own free agents at an amount or up to the maximum salary. To qualify as a bird free agent, a player must have played 3 seasons without being waived or changing teams as a free agent. Players claimed after being amnestied have their bird rights transferred to their new team. Other players claimed off waivers are not eligible for the full bird exception but may qualify for the early bird exception. NBA salary cap stuff, the collective bargaining agreement is so complicated, but
it's kind of the point of the bird rule, though. It rewards people for staying, and
the NBA incentivizes players to stay in one place and incentivizes teams to keep guys, and it prevents you from. It allows you, without being punished in the tax, to reward your players and to keep your players for continuity's sake.
And in this instance, right, and as crazy as it sounds, in the craziness that we have going on right now, all right, we talk about, hey, we got to have collective bargaining, we got to do all this stuff, right? And all the craziness we got going on right now in college athletics, particularly in football and basketball, I think implementing this rule NCAA wide would eliminate a lot of those things that we talk about, hey, Quinshon Judkins leaving Ole Miss to go to Ohio State. You know, you're going to allow good players to stay on your team and not get out purchased by them, because we're getting into this market to where all of a sudden this guy wants to go leave for, you know, I've seen it so many times. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've heard, hey, this guy was making, you know, $100,000 for us, and he's going to go do the same thing. It's a joke sometimes that you take away the handful of like elite players that are leaving and going places. He goes 90% of everybody else is just trading backups for more money. So why would you trade backups, keep yours, and incentivize them to stay? And these kids it'll help them graduate. And I get that nobody gives a shit about that anymore, but I do. You know, I think that, you know, that's nobody wants to talk about it because it's not fun, it's not popular, but the kids aren't graduating.
No.
And, you know, you can make a couple $100,000, okay, and you can go make, I mean, look, if you make $200,000 for 4 or 5 years, cool, you made $1 million over 5 years. How long do you really think that's going to last you? Because they're not storing it away, and you know, it's like that money's going to be gone, and now you're going to be left without a college education, and you don't make it in the NFL or whatever you're trying to do, then what do you do next?
You know what you just distributed? You just distributed some life advice. I did. Life advice is presented by our friend Cole Walters, State Farm Insurance. Cole, licensed in auto, home, life, health, business, and pet insurance for the whole states of Georgia and Alabama. You can contact Cole at 706-525-7850. You can also find him online at ColeWaltersInsurance.com. And I tell you what's happening in High Point, North Carolina right now. Let me tell you. They're popping Coors right this moment. Right now, they're opening a Coors, celebrating an NCAA tournament upset over Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, they're drowning their sorrows with a cold Coors banquet. Why? Because it's been brewed in the same tradition of the original 150-year-old recipe since 1873. Sometime later today, Wisconsin's going to board a plane. They're going to fly right over the Rocky Mountains, and they're going to look down and say, well, I guess we could jump. Or they could say, you know what? Look at that. Look at the Rocky Mountains. Look at that water. And all of a sudden, all the agony and pain they feel right now is going to go away because they're going to say, you know what? Our season's history. Why not drink some history? Why not have a Coors? Since 1873, Tyler. That's right. Now,
it's a long time.
The other thing Wisconsin has time to do now is to go out and enjoy the outdoors. I mean, ain't no reason to go to practice. Portal doesn't open for a couple of weeks. You can't jump teams for a couple of weeks. You got some time to go outdoors, which is good because everyone loves the outdoors. That's one of the reasons we're presented by Underwriters. You want to make sure your hunt club or your timberland's covered, though. You don't just want to get out there without all willy-nilly. Outdoor Underwriters provides the insurance you need at a price that makes sense. Outdoor Underwriters provides liability protection for occurrences arising out of activities and operations of your hunt club and its members, guests, invitees, agents, or employees. You can take comfort in blind and tree stand liability, mobile equipment liability, hunting dog liability, and more. To my bird rights. You want a dog that's going to chase the bird, get the bird right. Bring it back to you. Bird rights. Outdoor Underwriters also provide standing timber insurance, timberland liability, prescribed burn coverage, guides and outfitters and consulting foresters. You say, who endorses them? Oh, that's a good question. I'll answer it for you. It's the National Deer Association, the Wild Turkey Federation, but bird rights. Wild Turkey Federation, they got bird rights. Alabama Forest Owners Association and the Forestry Associations of Florida, Texas, Tennessee, Arkansas, and Louisiana. You can access those products through those association websites, of course. Or you can just call 866-961-4101, or you can go online to outdoorund.com.
Neal.
Yes?
You know what else? When you go to the outdoors, a lot of people think that you got all kinds of time.
Yeah.
They do. They think you get all kinds of time because you're spending time outdoors. But what people don't realize is the people who like to spend time outdoors, they don't have a lot of time because they're spending their free time outdoors. Yes. So do you know what? Since they don't have time for doctor's visits, they got time for the outdoors, but they don't have time for doctor's visits. They don't have time for confusing lab reports. But they're probably serious about their health because they want to be outdoors more.
Of course.
They want to be outdoors more. So they can go to Get Prime. Prime is a modern at-home lab testing kit that puts you in control. You can order your kit at getprime.com. You can collect your sample from home in just a few minutes. You can get clear, personalized results right to your private dashboard. No needles, no waiting rooms, no hassle. Whether you're rechecking your hormones, your energy levels, or your metabolism, or your overall wellness, Prime makes it fast, easy, and actionable. If you need support, Prime connects you with the trusted doctors to guide you to your next steps like peptides, protocols, and real strategies to help you feel your best. It's that simple. So make sure when you go check out, you go right there and you say, you know what? I was going hunting today. I didn't feel up to my best. I didn't feel my great energy. I need to check my energy levels. I'm going to go to getprime.com. That's getprym.com. I'm going to get the kit that fits me. I'm going to hit that checkout button. And when I hit that checkout button, I'm going to put the promo code MPW. That's right, MPW in the checkout. You're going to get 20% off of your first order. So go to getprime.com. That's right, getprym.com, and take your health in your own hands. We're also brought to you by the official paint and body shop of McCready Siskey. Who is that, you may ask? It's Thompson's Paint and Body Shop, right there in the heart of Saraland, Alabama, where you work, where the work's most honest, family-friendly staff will take care of your ride and get you out the door pain-free. They're not some just corporate chain. Nope. You got Don Jr., you got Matthew Thompson, you got all the Thompsons that are going to take care of you for over 35 years. They've been fixing cars with a care, quality, and personal touch that you just won't find with the big chain shops. That's right, none of them. So when the corporate guys are chasing numbers, the Thompsons are focused on what really matters, taking care of their neighbors one repair at a time. So make sure that you go to thompsonspaintandbodyshop.com or check them out on Facebook, or give them a call at area code 251-675-0884. That's 251-675-0884. And shout out to my guy Don. They're going to come up for I think the first home game. So we'll get to see the crew, and won't be long. It'll go by pretty quick. I didn't realize I've been here 5 weeks.
Yeah, you've been there a long time. I feel like I haven't seen you in ages.
I know it's been a minute. It was good to see the fam last week, though. Fams came back for there, and we got first home game. How about this? How about this?
Y'all went to a hockey game or NBA game?
Yeah. So Brock, the family came in. So for spring break, Brock had I think Brock's going to try to come back next week. I think that's when they're trying to get him to come back, but he's been dealing with an injury. But Brock and them, they played in the spring break tournament or whatever in Biloxi. So he was a little late getting here, so he stayed an extra 2 days. I flew him back Monday morning, but Aaron and the boys came down, I think Tuesday, and left on Saturday. So Brock and I were riding solo, and he wanted to go to a hockey game. So Saturday night we were off after the scrimmage on Saturday, and we went to Dallas, which is about 30 minutes, about 25 minutes from the house, 25 minutes from the house. And we went to see the Dallas Stars.
Oh, yeah.
Played. Who did they play? I don't even remember who they played. Brock had to tell me. Oh, they played Detroit Red Wings. And when hockey, like Neal, like we went to the Vegas Edmonton game when we were there. It's must see TV. I mean, it's awesome when you're there, right? I thought the atmosphere was great. I mean, it's legitly. I loved it. It's awesome sports, see in person. We did that, and then we got them back. Got him back Monday morning. He got an early wake up call. He woke up with pops. We got up at 4:30 on Monday morning and got him to the airport before I had to come to work. So, and then we got. But hey, news break. Gucci Mane is going to do the halftime show for April 18th.
Yeah.
So Mike Rapoli and the UFL done a great job with the halftime shows with the league for opening weekends or home openers. So make sure you get your tickets now. Go to uflstallions.com and check them out. And my girl, by the way, I'll get it from her for our next show. But Heather's got some promo codes so we can get good discounts on things for the old MPW Digital family.
What is your favorite Gucci Mane song?
Don't have one. All of them.
Wake Up
They're all
in
my
the Sky, King Snipe, Big Booty.
That one.
We do some. You want to do some big booty lyrics? Let's pull up some.
Only if you rap them for me.
All right. Ready?
I'm all, yes. I'm here.
Lane Kiffin will love this song. It says, Jay White, I need a beat I can go off on. That's how he starts. He says, tell the skinny hoes to point me. Where the thick hoes at? He want a flat booty. I can't say the next word. I'm not with all that. I got chills for days. I got whips for weeks. I bring out the fleet and it bring out the freaks. It's a block party. They done blocked off half the street.
Oh. I really think we could do a whole show of you reading rap.
I think I can say this word. Fair warning: if you've got a youngster in the car, now's the time to stop. I'm giving you a warning, because Tyler, I can tell, wants more of the lyrics.
I do. I can do this all day.
She's a big booty bitch, showing ass and cheeks. She's a walking bag of money. She's a masterpiece. The way she running game on you, she's an athlete. Hat trick, gave 3 hoes, 3 stacks apiece. And every time I get the head, she get that bread from me. Big old ass is heavy. Shake that like jelly. Put me on your plate and slurp that up like spaghetti. There you go. There you go. Gucci Mane, big booty, performing in Birmingham. Yes, sir.
Maybe we can get you. Maybe we can pull some strings and get you to be his hype man. Maybe you can come in and rap for him.
Absolutely, me and Gucci.
It'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
It'd be awesome. Well, Neal, how about this? 7 days right now, I will be in Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh,
how about that?
You will?
Yeah. How about that?
Be careful.
Yeah, I'll see you before then.
No, we'll talk before then. Just prepare yourself because do you know where you're staying yet? Don't tell me, but do you know where you're staying?
I don't know where we're staying. Erin knows. I gave her the list. I don't really.
Is Aaron going to be there?
I don't think Erin will be there. I think I think my mom and dad are coming, but I don't think. Okay. I don't know. I have no idea. I haven't really talked to her about it, to be honest with you.
Y'all will return to Arlington immediately after the game, I assume.
Yeah. So they do. So this year, which I think is awesome. It's good for the league. It'll be good for fan engagement, all that stuff. We're leaving every single day before the game. We'll leave at 10 a.m. And go. We got to get to the city wherever we're going at 1 o'clock, and then we do fan engagement stuff Friday afternoon.
Okay.
Wherever we're located, and then even Rotor home. So, and then that game will be at 7 o'clock Central, 8 Eastern, on Fox. And so we got to look at the first time I'd seen them yesterday. We'll be in all white.
Oh,
got to see those all yesterday, so that'll be good. We'll be in all white, and then first three will be on the road, so we'll be in all white for 3 weeks, and then we'll get the home unis broken out for the Orlando Storm, April 18th. But excited to get it started. I'm ready to start practicing and playing against other teams. I think we got a good team, and we'll see what happens, and we'll see if we can get a first down or two.
I'm pulling.
That'd be nice.
Well, I just want to make sure that because we've said that date a few times, and for some reason that date doesn't sound right to me, so I'm just checking.
All right, pull it up. Let's go. So we got.
You're right. Saturday, April the 18th, versus the Orlando Storm. That game is at 3 p.m. Central Daylight Time at Protective Stadium there in Birmingham, Alabama. Buy tickets online at theufl.com.
Yep, it'll be good. I'm excited. We got, like I said, the fans are doing a really good job, and even those games are 4 weeks out now, 5 weeks out, and have already sold out 2 sections, and they really just, that's good for this league. It's already sold out 2 sections, and I'm excited to see how many we can get sold. When they're opening up new sections, that's a good sign, right? So,
yeah.
So
you guys go to Louisville, then Houston, then St. Louis. Then you are home for 2 games in a row, Orlando and D.C., the Defenders. Then
the D.C. game. I remember the D.C. Now you said that. I remember the D.C. game is the other Friday night game. So we'll play – the Friday night games are going to be on Fox at 7 p.m. And then I think they moved our time for I think I got an email about this the other day. I think it was directed at me. I think that's why they sent it to me. They moved our game time, the second game, and the game got moved to NFL Network on week 2. So it's the NFL Network, ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, FS1, I think.
Yeah, the game at Houston is a Sunday game, April the 5th, on the NFL Network at 5 p.m. And then so 2 games at home, and then y'all go to Orlando on May the 3rd. Then you come home for 2 games, one against Dallas on the 9th, Columbus on the 17th. Then you go to Columbus on the 23rd, and you finish the regular season at home on May the 30th versus the Houston Gamblers. That game's at 2 o'clock on ESPN.
Okay. Will you make sure you keep me up to date with the game time so I know what time to be there?
I will make sure you know, because you need to be there at least 30 minutes early.
Yep. I'll make sure I get there in time so I don't leave the boys hanging. Well, dude, I appreciate the hell out of you, man. That's all I got today.
We've been brought to you, as always, by our good friends at Reign Total Body Fuel. 300 milligrams natural caffeine, BCAAs, electrolytes, 0 sugar. It's got what you need to push the limits, achieve your goals. Check them out on Instagram at Reign Body Fuel to learn more. We'll update you guys on social media, scheduling and stuff. Getting obviously schedules are a little odd because of Tyler's commitment there with Birmingham, but we'll get all that to you. And enjoy your weekend, everybody. Tyler, good seeing you.
Appreciate you, boss.